Well, this is the Richard and Judy Book Club. These are the Richard and Judy Summer Reads, and this one, The Book of Summers by Emylia Hall, isn't on the list because it's called The Book of Summers for the Summer Reads. If it had been called The Book of Winters, it would have made it on the list. It's a fabulous book, but it does have a strong summery feel. And just to say, as we always do at this point, if you go to the back of the books, if you buy them from W.H. Smith in the store or online here, you'll find lots of extra content, exclusive only to W.H. Smith. It's got information about the podcast that you can download and information about the Q&As that Judy and I do with the authors. You can see us talking to them sort of in print, and it's really good extra value. But to the book, and Emylia's here. Hello.
Hello.
I love this book. It was so atmospheric. It's sort of about a threesome, really. It's about a mother and a father and their little girl. And the mother's Hungarian. And her marriage to the father is difficult, it's a bit tense. And she gets the opportunity to go back to Hungary one summer, a few years after the marriage. And so they go back with their little girl, and she doesn't come home again, the mother. She decides that she doesn't fit in the marriage, she fits in Hungary, and she says goodbye to her daughter as well as her husband, and she loves her daughter. Now that, I thought, was a very powerful piece of opening writing. How could a mother wave her daughter goodbye and see her go back to England and know she's not going to see her for months at a time?
Yeah, I mean, that central idea of a mother leaving her child was something that I struggled to write with truth, I guess. I didn't have a personal experience of that sort of scenario, but it really mattered to me that it resonated, and anyone who might have had an experience like that wouldn't think that it didn't ring true.
Yeah. It does ring true, by the way. Let me tell you, it does, very much so.
But it was also really important to me that Morica, the mother, remained an appealing character.
Yeah.
It would have been
not
very...
an awful mother.
Yeah, because I wanted the reader to get swept up in her and her ideals, judge her a little bit because she's definitely imperfect, but at the same time, kind of understand why she did what she did.
Well, I think you did it. I think you succeeded in that because you make her extraordinarily passionate in a very Hungarian way. You know what I mean? You know.
No.
Well, she has strong characteristics which you make sort of very identifiable with the Hungarian psyche. You know, and you do kind of forgive her. But so it's called The Book of Summers because basically the little girl goes back every summer to Hungary, to this lovely rustic environment, to be with her mother and her mother's lover. And the mother secretly keeps a diary of photographs and notes of the things that they do. And the little girl has no idea that she's done that, has she?
No, and it comes as an absolute surprise to her and a shock as well, because for so long, you know, Beth, the central character, she's locked down these memories. Yeah, she hasn't allowed herself to think about them. And so to suddenly see them laid out, and someone who, it's obvious how much the mother cared for her, and she's created this incredible document, really, of their time together.
Which Beth doesn't see until her mother's died.
No, absolutely.
She
doesn't know it exists.
Yeah. And you are yourself half Hungarian, aren't you?
Yes,
your
my
mother
mother's
was Hungarian.
Yeah.
Has your mother read this?
She has. And obviously she loves Morica.
Yeah.
But equally it is a fiction, and a lot of people have kind of sort of stared deep into my eyes and said, "Oh, your mother, do you know?" And no, it's, I mean, what I took from my mother is her passion.
Yeah.
She's very passionate about Hungary. And I guess that urge to be at one with the country you come from, I always found quite compelling.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that as an idea, but then imagined if my mother had been a different kind of person, if she hadn't felt the ties or the desires that she had to stay in this country, how might she have behaved? Would she have run off?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to say that, I mean, a lot of us in this country, when we think of Europe, we still don't think that much of countries like Hungary. We think France, Spain, Greece, Italy, you know. I've never been to Hungary, but it sounds, the way you've evoked it, sounds absolutely beautiful, stunning.
Yeah, I mean, that one of the lovely things about this book being out in the world now is that I think people will get to experience Hungary in a way that they, like you say, perhaps hadn't thought of it. You know, Budapest, it's on the EasyJet routes now. Everyone kind of can go there, stag weekends, that kind of thing. But the countryside outside of Hungary, the Lake Balaton, which features in the book as one of the main settings, it's incredibly beautiful. And
well, I must say, the way you write about it, I mean, the start of the book, when these holidays begin, is in the 90s, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And yet it reads like 1920s England, the countryside. It's the kind of countryside that we once had and have completely lost.
That's the thing. In many ways, it is like stepping back in time when you go there. I mean, you know, the book is written with a brush of romance, I guess, and I deliberately wanted it to feel timeless, which kind of tied in with Ergie's whole experiences of going there every summer. It's like a dream world when she goes there, and none of the realities that weigh so heavily at home are present.
No, that's a very good analogy. It is like a dream, like a summer dream, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was important to keep everything, you know, politics, history, you know, it's set just after the Berlin Wall came down, but I didn't want any of that to intrude on the book. I wanted it to feel quite idyllic and bohemian, and
you've done that. You've absolutely done that. You haven't let history get in the way, you know, of what it was actually just like to be there, you know, and to live there. You're right about the romance. It's two kind of running themes. It's basically the growing girl, and she starts to sort of fall for the boy who she meets out there, the incredibly good-looking Hungarian lad, and they get older, and are they or are they not, you know? And then of course her mother's extraordinary romance with this artist.
Yes.
What's he called?
Zoltan.
Zoltan.
Yeah.
Just describe him. He's a wonderful character.
Yeah, Zoltan. I enjoyed writing Zoltan. My father's an artist as well, and so I've kind of
cheat. Your mother's Hungarian, your father's okay.
Yeah, it's all worked in there. I love artists. I've got a bit of a crush on them generally, and I wanted him to be that. Again, just a dream character, yeah, and that just fitted with that Villa Serena landscape. So he's very much a product of that environment. He's laid back, he's kind, he's gentle.
He's bohemian.
He's bohemian. He never asks any of the difficult questions. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing as the book goes on, it's open for debate.
And he's the one who, when she dies, give me the right pronunciation.
Morica.
Thank you, Morica. He's the one who sends the Book of Summers, this wonderful scrapbook. He sends it to her daughter, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's so kind of him.
And that's a bit of a step for him, actually, because he's a kind of, if conversations get difficult, he'll crack open another bottle of wine kind of guy. He doesn't really want to drill down into any kind of really deep, complex family stuff. He's a bit of a free spirit himself. And he welcomes Ergie into his home, and he's always very good to her.
Just describe the home. It's beautifully written, the villa. It's such a lovely... I want to go there.
Yeah.
You know, Just give us a quick thumbnail sketch of it.
It's a kind of a hunting lodge kind of style house. Depths of the Hungarian countryside, kind of nestled in a hillside, surrounded by forests. There's a pool, the stones throw away in the forest where they go and swim and kind of bask in the endless sunshine. And it's like I was saying before, I wanted to create this sense of a dreamland, and so every time Ergie gets there, she's just bowled over, and it's very easy for her to fall in love with that life and contrast it, sometimes slightly unfairly, with her home in Devon.
Just one last question. Is it still like that in Hungary? Can you still find these idyllic, rustic?
Yeah, you can. You really can.
Yeah.
And you know, as soon as you step off the main tourist trail, you are in just beautiful, undulating countryside, and it is like stepping back in time. And like
donkeys and mules pulling carts and
absolutely,
all that stuff,
yeah, old women with their headscarves, sticks. I mean, it's genuinely like going back in another time.
I almost feel like going up and saying, excuse me, madam, it's 2012, you can take the silly hat off.
Oh, my mum won't like that bit.
Okay. It's a gorgeous book, Emylia. Congratulations on it. How long did it take you to write?
Probably about 4 years, off and on.
Well, tender loving care on every page. It's great. It's a really nice book.
It's called The Book of Summers. It's a really great book to read in the summer because it's so idyllic and beautiful and lovely. And I'd love to go to Hungary now.
Yeah. I can only imagine it not being a good book to read if you go somewhere where it's raining all the time and you read about this fantastic summer weather. Anyway, congratulations.
Thank
it's lovely.
you.
Congratulations, lovely.